Welcome. This is for you, the parentified firstborn, the type A overachiever, the mom or dad who grew up carrying too much too soon, the ones with a leaky, scared body, just like me. You will hear my voice is a little crackly and leaky as I am reversing life-threatening leaky muscle and 40 other leaky body barriers when no doctor could help me. I want you to know you're not broken. You were born into toxic womb, toxic home, and a toxic system that never protected you. I was born sick myself. My tonsils were cut out at 6 months and my uvula. I grew up on moldy military bases and in low-income housing, and I raised my son in a moldy apartment and a moldy co-op. Despite doing everything right as a clean-eating personal trainer, my son and I both ended up with leaky bodies, bathroom struggles, and food fears. I've avoided medicine most of my adult life, not out of rebellion, but because every prescription damaged my microbiome, my fatty liver, and my immune system. The one time I took antibiotics at 58, I paired them with probiotics because I knew better. I've spent decades biohacking with fasting, autophagy, and detox, and now I live free of mental health struggles and menopause symptoms because I detoxed mold, metals, and trauma stored in my tissues since birth. That's why I need to share this conversation with you today, because a medication that millions of pregnant women have trusted, Tylenol, is now being re-examined for its potential link to autism and ADHD. And this isn't just about Tylenol. It's about how our toxic environments, our leaky bodies, and our gut-brain axis shape the health of our children and ourselves. So let's get into this together with compassion and curiosity, not fear, because peace is possible even in a toxic world.
A medication millions of pregnant women have relied on for decades is now at the center of a fierce debate. Today, we're diving into the controversial link between Tylenol and autism and what it reveals about our bodies in an increasingly toxic world.
You know, this is such a critical conversation because it affects so many families. The FDA just announced they're changing Tylenol's labeling to reflect potential risks during pregnancy.
Wait, really? What exactly are they saying about the risks?
Well, according to the recent announcement, they're suggesting that acetaminophen use during pregnancy may be associated with an increased risk of neurological conditions like autism and ADHD.
But that sounds pretty serious. Is there solid evidence behind this?
That's where it gets complicated. A Harvard review of 46 studies found an association between prenatal acetaminophen exposure and neurodevelopmental disorders.
Association, but that's different from causation, right?
Exactly. Dr. Brian Lee from Drexel University makes a great analogy about this. It's like ice cream sales and drowning rates both going up in summer.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, hot weather causes people to both eat more ice cream and go swimming more, increasing drowning risk. They're associated, but one doesn't cause the other.
Ah, that makes sense. So what are medical experts saying about using Tylenol during pregnancy?
The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists maintains that Tylenol is still safe when used as directed. They're actually quite concerned about the recent announcements.
Why are they concerned?
Because untreated fever during pregnancy can be dangerous. It can increase risks of miscarriage, organ malformations, and even, ironically, autism.
Wait, what? Fever itself can increase autism risk?
Yes, according to the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine. So it's really about weighing risks versus benefits.
This is fascinating. But let's zoom out for a moment. How does this connect to our broader understanding of autism?
Well, autism is incredibly complex. Current research suggests it develops from a combination of genetic and environmental factors.
And this is where the concept of the leaky body comes in, right?
Exactly. There's growing interest in how environmental factors might influence neurodevelopment through what we call the gut-brain axis.
Can you explain what the gut-brain axis is?
It's this fascinating bidirectional communication system between our digestive tract and central nervous system, involving the immune system and endocrine system.
And how does this relate to autism?
Many children with autism tend to have digestive issues, including what's called leaky gut syndrome, where the intestinal lining becomes more permeable.
More permeable? What does that mean exactly?
It means the tight junctions in the intestinal wall loosen, allowing undigested food particles and toxins to leak into the bloodstream.
That sounds not great.
Right. It can trigger immune responses and inflammation, potentially affecting brain function through that gut-brain axis we talked about.
So how does this connect back to the Tylenol discussion?
Well, it highlights how our bodies interact with environmental factors, including medications, in complex ways we're still trying to understand.
And I imagine this makes it harder to study cause and effect?
Exactly. When you have multiple systems interacting, gut, brain, immune system, it becomes very difficult to isolate single causes.
So what should pregnant women do with all this information?
The current medical consensus is to use acetaminophen when needed, but at the lowest effective dose for the shortest duration necessary.
That seems reasonable. Any specific guidelines?
Yes, always consult with your healthcare provider, and be especially mindful of high fevers, which can pose their own risks during pregnancy.
What about after the baby is born? Are there concerns about giving infants Tylenol?
According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, acetaminophen is safe for children when properly dosed under pediatrician guidance.
But proper dosing is crucial, right?
Absolutely. Acetaminophen overdose is actually a leading cause of acute liver injury in children.
That's concerning. What should parents watch out for?
The key is following the recommended dosage based on weight and age, and being aware that many other medications also contain acetaminophen.
Like cold medicines and such?
Exactly. Always read labels carefully to avoid accidental double dosing through combination medications.
This all seems to point to a bigger issue about how we understand environmental impacts on health.
Yes, we're increasingly recognizing that our bodies are more permeable to environmental influences than we once thought.
And that makes medical decisions more complex?
Absolutely. It's about balancing risks and benefits in an increasingly complex world.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say it's about being informed but not alarmed. Work closely with healthcare providers and avoid extreme positions.
And remember that correlation isn't causation?
Right. Just like those ice cream sales and drowning statistics we mentioned earlier.
What do you think the future holds for this research?
We'll likely see more studies exploring the gut-brain axis and how environmental factors, including medications, influence neurodevelopment.
And hopefully get clearer answers about these associations?
Yes, but we need to be patient. Good science takes time, and rushing to conclusions can do more harm than good.
Speaking of harm, what about the anxiety these kinds of announcements can cause?
That's a real concern. Fear can lead to pregnant women avoiding necessary medical treatments, which could be dangerous.
So it's about finding that balance?
Exactly. Being informed and cautious, but not letting fear drive our medical decisions.
Be mindful. You know, whenever you see those pharmaceutical ads on TV, the ones with the beautiful people flying kites, followed by the rapid-fire list of side effects, I don't just hear a legal disclaimer. I hear a blueprint for the leaky, scared bodies we are trying to heal. When we introduce a man-made medication, especially one that isn't absolutely essential, it's often another salt on our system that's already on the brink. Learn in the pinned comment what's happening under the surface when we take medication. This is one of many reasons why I have not taken medicine as an adult unless in crisis. This is your path to peace. Take my hand. You are not alone. Sending loving kindness from Canada's capital. You are love, and you are peace.